Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. And I know I said yesterday that we were going to do some Chicago Marathon trivia today, but something came in the mail that I thought you guys would rather see. I got a special large delivery from Rabbit today, and I thought we would unbox that instead. And then maybe you guys can help me answer some logistical questions that necessarily arise from these arriving here about 4 weeks earlier than I had anticipated. So we'll get to that in a second. But first, let's say hi to everyone listening in on the podcast on the audio only version. Hopefully you guys are having a good run today. Today was a little bit chillier than I was expecting. I feel like the cold front is starting to come through. I thought it would be more abrupt and it wouldn't get here till tomorrow, but this morning it was chilly a little. I mean, not that I wasn't like drenched in sweat by the end of my run, but it started off a little chilly, and it was nice and comfortable. So hopefully you're getting that as well. And for everyone that's watching this on YouTube later but not live, welcome to you guys. This is the number one place to have something on in the background while you are entering an expense report or any other kind of manual, repetitive data entry kind of thing. Hopefully this just makes the day go by a little bit faster. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. Evil Teacher says, Mexican greetings. Co, could you mention the must-visit places to eat in Chicago? I'm traveling there for my first major, and I need to know where to get me some pizza and other local stuff. Gracias. I would say get some deep dish pizza. Here's the Chicago foods that you got to eat. They aren't the best Chicago foods, in my opinion, but they are the must-eat Chicago foods. Like the kinds of stuff that when you think about Chicago trip, that you're going to want to get. You got to get deep dish pizza. We're doing a pizza shakeout run. The tickets have been sold out for a while now, unfortunately. But we're going to Lou Malnati's. That's my favorite deep dish pizza. But a lot of times we also will take tourists to Giordano's. Giordano''S. There's also Pizzeria Uno. They're called Pizzeria Uno because they claim to be the first place to invent deep dish pizza. Giordano's and Lou Malnati's all dispute that, but those are some places to get good deep dish. You also want to get an Italian beef sandwich. It's very good. It's like a roast beef au jus, but just a lot better. Make sure you just get the whole sandwich dipped. If you want, you can get yours with a tamale inside. If you're from Mexico, I don't know that I would recommend that. I don't know if you're gonna like that, but get an Italian beef sandwich. And then if you're still feeling like you need more after that, get yourself just like a regular, go to a place that has hot dogs. Get a Chicago dog, drag it through the garden. Go to Portillo's. You can get Italian beef and Chicago style hot dogs out of Portillo's. So that's Portillo''S. That's so those are like the three things that I would say that you should eat if you're in Chicago. Preferably you eat most of those after you race. All right, Daniel Burton says, I ran 2 miles in 16:10 on a rolling course. Not bad for a 63-year-old. Woo, Daniel, that's blazing fast. Good work. Runner Will says, hello, everyone. And Co, are you looking forward to running your old route? Yeah, I haven't been back there in a while, so it'll be interesting to see. It just it changes. It never changes, and it changes so fast at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see what's new, and I am looking forward to it. And Calvin says, I'm still just enjoying the Tracksmith post comments with a popcorn emoji. What a fumble on their part. And Go Running with Oliver says, I want to hear what Kovacy says about the whole Tracksmith Boston thing. I mean, I before we even saw the Tracksmith, I only saw the Tracksmith post yesterday, but I was aware that people were mad at Tracksmith before I saw the Tracksmith post, which is weird. Like you get a sense of the zeitgeist on social media in that way. And it's related to the whole like 529 cutoff thing. And we already talked about this the other day. About how I just feel like the system is not great. Once you BQ, everyone should be in a lottery. I just think that that's the way that it should be. And so rather than a cutoff, I think that the cutoff system is not making people happy, except for the people who are already happy. You know what I mean? Like the people who have loved it the way it's been, You know, someone else. I really wish I remember who was it. Vanessa Riggs. Someone else pointed out. She's a local runner. She runs for Windrunners Chicago, I believe. And she said, like, should we expect anything less from a brand that lionizes a race that literally tried to drag its first woman off the course? You know what I mean? I feel like, and my opinion's kind of the same, is that like the Boston, I've been trying to avoid the subject because I feel like everyone's dumping on Boston Marathon and everyone's dumping on Tracksmith right now, and I don't need to dogpile. And I've been doing a very good job of avoiding it. But if you guys keep poking the bear, maybe I'll share you my real thoughts later. But anyway, that's, I'm gonna try to avoid it. I'm trying to stay out of it. Yeah. Martha's here. She says, "Hi everyone. Hated missing the last 2 days, but now I'm back. Glad to have you back here, Martha." Yeah, I think that and if what's in these boxes is, and I can't imagine it's not what I think is in these boxes, but if what's in these boxes is what I think it is, I think even if the weather's perfect for American record chasing, I think I'm going to run it. And I'm trying to think of what group is there a group that the majority of us can run together in? Is it I think the 4 hour group. I feel like there was a lot of positive feedback for running in a 4 hour group. I think running in a 4 hour group would be, maybe that's what we'll do. But yeah, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Eliza says the whole Tracksmith thing is spicy. The thing is, I don't think it's spicy. That's my thing. People are suddenly reacting, but no one's done anything different. No one has behaved any differently than they've been behaving. Does that make sense? Anyway. All right. Obi-Wan says, "Is my phone just going to go nuts?" I think in 10 minutes, you're just going to get the emergency alert, the burr, 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 that special thing. It used to happen to me when I worked in courtrooms all the time. If there was like an amber alert or a silver alert in the downtown area, or if there was like a tornado warning, anyone who didn't normally work in a courtroom, or like a normal person who didn't automatically turn off their like cell phone stuff, like all those people, their phones would go off in the middle of like a trial and stuff. And so it'd be really jarring. But it's just that sound. It's that emergency alert sound that's going to go off, I think, in about 10 minutes from now. What's really interesting is that, of course, there's like QAnon theories that are surrounding it. And so, if I suddenly turn into a zombie when those alarms go off, the QAnon was right. Gilletta1519 says, "There are so many great races. Boston would be nice, but there are other options." My big thing, and I feel like this has been a theme that I've been harping on with big races for over a year now. Western states, London Marathon especially, Tokyo Marathon, Boston Marathon, like they are enjoying overcapacity demand now. They won't, it's not guaranteed. They didn't always, because, when I was in Boston, people were like, yeah, I remember you could just decide to run like the week of, or like someone told me that like you would cut something out of the back of Runner's World with a check to it. And that would be how you signed up for Boston Marathon. You would fill out like a paper entry, clip it from the magazine, put money in an envelope, a check, and then you would get a bib, so that's how demand used to be. Now demand is different. It's not guaranteed that it always will be. You know what I mean? Like there was a time where like in the United States, like boxing was the biggest spectator sport. That was a sport that everyone followed. I'm not saying boxing's not big, but is it as big as football is right now? Nope. So I just think that like these institutions have to maybe be more careful. I don't know. Calvin says, regardless, this has been a great marketing opportunity for the 26 Point True. It has been. All right. Calvin says we got 20 more minutes before all hell breaks loose. I don't think it's going to be. I just think it's just going to be a beeping, a buzzing. All right. Richard Wilson says, yeah, Western states used to be that way. Really? You just signed up? That's wild. And now people are running 100-milers every year for like a decade to try to get in. Yeah. Melvin Umang says, do you know if it's possible to transfer registration for the Saturday Abbott 5K? My understanding that it's not. I don't think so. JC says at 1:20 p.m. my Adidas Evo 1 will self-destruct. That's funny. That's funny. You know what's really weird about the Evo 1? So I've posted 2 reels about the Evo 1, now, and the response has been really good. Better than I was expecting. People are dying to see content about that shoe, and which makes sense. I guess I should have anticipated more. But the things that people want to see are about as weird as me licking the outsole, right? So like for the Evo 1, people are like, what happens if you run 100 miles in it? What happens if you run 200 miles in it? And I'm like, they told me it doesn't last that long. Why would I want to run in it longer? It just feels like a clickbait. People are asking me to make clickbait YouTube videos about it. You know what I mean? It just seems so weird. So, I don't know. Dan Dalton says, last week, people were mad at a shoe. This week, people are mad at a singlet. Next week, it'll be something else. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Go outside, go for a run. Just don't call anyone a jogger. Oh, you know what I needed to wear? You know what I should have worn today? I should have worn my Elite jogger shirt. We got to bring that back. Does anyone still have one? I have one. It's upstairs. I should have worn that today. That would have been perfect. Sean Mann says, what are your other hobbies? My hobbies are making videos, taking photographs, cooking, eating, travel, spending time with my family. I really love my fire pit. That's like my favorite thing. Eric says, I think you underestimate the weirdness of you licking the outsole. I don't. The thing, it's like this shoe, it's still down here. It's not as glossy anymore because you could see like there's some dirt dust on it. But like out of the box, it had like a glossy candy coat. It was super reflective, and it reminded me of like a black candy. I don't know. I don't know why more people didn't want to eat that. But I also wanted to eat. Do you guys remember DNA Flash when it first came out in that ice blue color? I wanted to eat it. I never bit it, but I wanted to. JC says, I'll say that my non-running family members got really excited about me running Boston, while running other marathons barely moved the needle. It's a big deal to runners and the public in general. I know. They've done a great job in curating. The BAA has done a masterful job in creating and cultivating the aura around that race and everything else surrounding the race. You guys are really trying to get me to start ranting about BAA today. Super NJ says, Fire Pit season starts today. No, man. We've been doing Fire Pit. Super NJ, where are you? We've been having Fire Pit all summer long. I just haven't been able to use it that much because I've been gone a lot. But yeah, we had a fire. Do we have one last weekend? No, I wasn't here last weekend. The weekend before that we did. It was really nice. Daniel Burton says, in the early 70s, everyone that ran was a jogger. Yeah. I think it's funny that when I think it's funny when people get upset about the jogging thing. I told you guys the story a long time ago. One time, it was when my older daughter was much younger, maybe the age of my younger daughter, and she was trying to explain to someone what her daddy does, and she goes, "My daddy jogs a lot. That's what he likes to do. He jogs." I was like, "Oh, okay." Urger says, "Do you like black licorice, Co?" Here's the thing: I don't like black licorice. I think it's tastes like medicine. It's gross. I feel like I'm eating something I found on the ground foraging in the woods. That's what licorice tastes like. Sean Mann says, "Can we get a video of you making some food on the fire pit?" We do a lot of podgy pies on the fire pit, which is like one of my favorite things to eat. Making a video by fire is kind of hard though. Lighting is tough. And then my family's there, and then it also then you've got a camera you're dealing with, and fire, and mozzarella cheese and sandwiches. So I don't know. Andrew Scott wants to know if I ate glue. You know, I never ate the school supplies. I think I've eaten like the little frilly parts. You know, we used to have those 3-ring binders, not 3-ring binders, the spiral notebooks, and then you have all the frilly things. I've tried eating those before when I was younger. I never really ate glue. I don't think I ate glue or anything else. I think I was the only one. Let's see. Stephen C. 1984 says, "I think Edbutt said if he enjoys the OG Primex, he'll eat a shoe," and he did enjoy it. Super Engine says he's in the Twin Cities. They use their fire pit all summer too, but the cold front has me excited to use mine tonight. Yeah, I love fire pit and a blanket. Like when it's that cold, like if it's cold when you stand up, then that's good fire pit weather. You know. The guy behind the guy says, "I'm not sure. I think that BAA has done a pretty bad job, and the race succeeds because it is just there's no the rest of that sentence got cut off. But yeah, I don't know. I think the BAA is doing an excellent job of executing what it wants to execute." CV76 just got the alert. Nathaniel just got the beep. My phone is upstairs. It's probably bugging my wife. I left my phone upstairs on accident. But yeah, it happened when I was in Italy too. In Italy, they were trying to implement a national emergency alert service. And the weird thing was, so there was like 15 or 16 of us on this trip, and no one's phones went off at the same time. Like my phone went off like 5 minutes after everyone else's phone. And then other people's phones went off 5 minutes after mine. It was weird. PJ says, "Speaking of Tracksmith, though, how quickly do the pop-ups run out of the hat bag things? Thinking of heading down to the pop-up tomorrow at Open so I don't miss out." I think that's a good idea. They will run out. They ran out fast in Chicago. This year, I don't know if it's just this year. I think at one point it just used to be free for showing up. Sorry, I kicked the camera again. But I think they quickly switched that to like with purchase just because they ran out so fast. Calvin Hong says, "I feel the urge to eat brains, something, 5G. And Mark Peterson says, "Ah!" Oh, that's so funny. Cobalt Blue says, "Back in the day, road runners were called joggers and track athletes were called runners because they sprint." Oh, is that what it was? Interesting. Adam Cheney says, "Bruh, I'm in an airport right now and everyone's Amber Alerts went off at the same time. Sounding like the gates of hell were opening." Oh man. I used to do a lot of public speaking in my old job. And one of the talks that I used to do, it started out with a story about the time that they accidentally sent out like the missiles are coming alarm in Hawaii. So everyone in Hawaii got this alert, but it said like find high ground, missiles incoming or something like crazy like that. And they didn't fix it for like a couple hours. It was wild. You should Google that story. It's It's a pretty crazy story. I thought about it a lot when I was in Hawaii. JC says, if this had been an actual emergency, you would have been advised where to tune in your area. If this had been an actual emergency, I would have probably just kept on talking and you would have had no idea. Maybe if you looked at your phone. But if you were relying on me to give you emergency information, I'm not a good source. PK says, Kofuzi for Perez, what would your first executive directive be? I mean, for president, I've never thought about being president, and I can't be president because I'm not a natural born U.S. citizen. So that one wouldn't work for me. But it would probably have something to do with feeding kids and getting kids into schools, like preschool and stuff like that. But I've thought a long time about being mayor of Chicago. Not that anyone ever let me be mayor of Chicago. I think we talked about this yesterday. I lived in Chicago for 18 years. No one from Chicago would let me say I'm from Chicago still. But if I were mayor in Chicago, my thing would be based off of like Malcolm Gladwell's Tipping Point and the way he talked about like New York in like the 70s and 80s and the way they attacked graffiti. My platform would be no pee in the alleys. So I would not want it to smell like pee anywhere in any part of the city. And so that would require a lot of things. One, just cleaning, but also like, why are people peeing in the alleys? Let's address that. Let's address the homeless situation. Let's address not enough public bathroom availability. If there are public bathrooms available, why aren't people using them? Let's address that. So like the platform would be pee. And then hopefully we'd clean up a lot of the city and address a lot of the underserved population, the people that are falling through the cracks that way. So that's really would be my platform. Not that I thought about it very much. Andrew Scott says, anyone else double dipping Chicago and Monumental? That is a fun double dip because there's enough time between the two. Although it's closer this year. It's the week before New York this year, right? So it's only like 2 weeks, right? Wayne says, no alerts in Canada, which makes sense. But Wayne, you're in Canada, but why does your picture have a bean? Are you just visiting Canada? Why do you have the Hancock Building and the bean in your? Remy says, BAA is good at executing what it wants to execute. And that's fine, but say it out loud. BAA doesn't want most of us there, so stop chasing it. The BAA wants us to want to be there. It just doesn't want us to be there. You know what I mean? That's where we're going. I don't think that it's necessarily nefarious in terms of which of us it doesn't want us to be there. I don't know if I wouldn't go that far yet. It doesn't care if it happens to appear or end up that a lot of us that don't get to be there don't look like the people that have been there. You know what I mean? Remy, you know what I mean, I think. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. You know what? Let's get to these boxes. Let's do these boxes. I think all these 3 boxes have all the same things in them, so I'll just open one of them. But it is from a Rabbit, shipped directly from the manufacturer, like where it got made, I think in Vietnam, I want to say. It's a very heavy box. I'll open the lightest one. Hopefully I won't accidentally show you guys my address while I do this. How do I open? This thing is... I guess it's good that it's hard to open this. But it's very hard to open. And I don't think I'm doing it right. You know, it goes to show you unbox something every day and still opening packages can be very difficult. I don't want to accidentally cut anything in the box. That's the thing. So I do have the knife, but I'm just trying to avoid it. Goodness gracious. Okay. I haven't seen what these are like yet, so. This is what it is. Look at that, from Rabbit, the singlet. Kofuzi Run Club singlets. This one is a women's small. They came individually wrapped, which is very convenient because I was really worried about how am I going to wrap these and sell them. But this looks great. I'm gonna try to open one that's not like a men's medium because that'll be mine. I'm envisioning that. Oh, here's an extra large one. These are all. I'm guessing this entire box is just women's. But let's see if I can find. I think this box will have the men's size in it. So while I'm opening this, you guys got to think about, all right. So what I was going to do is set up a Shopify shop. And I already have one set up from the time I tried to sell koozies. Remember that disaster? So I have a Shopify set up, and I want to use that because that handles the taxes. The sales taxes are going to be really hard. So I don't want to have to deal with that. So it's not like I don't want to do a thing where it's like, hey guys, just Venmo me a 20 or it's not. It's going to be more than $20, but you know. So, but I'll be seeing a lot of you guys on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So, okay, men's small. Here we go. Small. How many smalls did I get? Oh boy, I think I ordered too many men's smalls. Here's the men's medium. Let's get this one opened up. I'm really excited about this. I feel like Marty McFly's dad in Back to the Future too. Check this out. And then look at the back. The back looks great too. Love this design. It's like dragon scales on the back. All right. This is cool. This singlet turned out great, guys, I think. So we got to figure out, maybe what we could do is, I got to set up that Shopify again. I'll take some product pictures and stuff so that way people can see it and see what it looks like. But then I could sell it. But then maybe if you guys buy it through the website and you know you're going to be around for Chicago Marathon weekend and you're coming to either the Shakeout Run or the Fleet Feet meet and greet, I can bring yours there to you. You know what I mean? Sean Devlin says, can't wait to get some fresh nipple blood on there. Dominic Smirnowski says, it goes well with the Endorphin Speed checkered design. Oh, actually, it would go well with that one. Scuba Sun says, okay, I'll take that and wear it on race day. Eva Belt says, sweet. David says, yes. Wayne says, this is Kofuzi Itahara Rabbit. Yeah, I mean, yes, in a way. Because Greg designed this Kofuzi Run Club logo. The design that's on the back is like part of like when I ordered the singlet from Rabbit. Like there's a couple of back designs you could choose from, so I chose that. So, yeah. JC wants to know if it will work well with a white running diaper. It will. It is based off the Speedies singlet from Rabbit. So if you guys are familiar with that material, it's lightweight. It's almost a little bit sheer in terms of the touch, almost like silky. And then in the back panel where these like triangles are, it's like a bigger mesh. It's like the PR collection type mesh. So, yeah. Yeah. CR says, overseas in Ireland, you could sign up to a service with the post office and you can get a UK address and a US address. Oh, really? How does that work? That doesn't seem legal because that seems like a clear way of avoiding taxes. Not sure. He says, as far as I know, or CR says, as far as I know, you would only have to pay the international postage, and then the customer is charged for delivery overseas and also pays any customs tax that it says. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Alf Dickinson says, yes, black and white, tag me in. 308 Bar says, shipping to Canada and abroad. I think I'm going to limit it to US only because that once it goes abroad, then like international shipping gets expensive is the only thing. And so like, I just don't feel like it makes for a very good customer experience if you're like, oh, this is like I don't know what I'm going to charge for it. I'm just going to charge whatever like this normal speedies charge. Let's say it's 80. Like to say like I bought an $80 singlet for $120 just doesn't seem great, you know. Eric A says, do you wash these in the machine or just hand wash? I usually wash in the machine and then air dry. Scuba San says, is it Scuba? I always say Scuba San, but it's Scuba Sun. Says, is it fitted or loose? It's fitted. CV76 says, when I buy this, I'll tell my wife that running is a little cheaper than golf. And Wayne wants to know about wearing it on Sunday. Yeah. And so that's why, since this came early, I think definitely got to show it off. So I'll be running. I've had the Chicago Marathon bib for a while. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it this year. But now that this is here, especially if anyone else wants to run in a group together, you know, then I think that'd be awesome. JC says, I think you'll need to order more of those if that's possible. I don't know. I ordered a lot. It doesn't look like it from this box, but there's like, I think I ordered 150, 200 of them. That's a lot of singlets. That's a lot of pieces of merch to move, I think. I remember I bought like 100 koozies. And then I now still own 90 koozies. You know? Urger says, it's Ireland. It's a popular tax dodging country, no? Isn't that why Apple was there for a long time? I don't know. Calvin says, I think it's $70 for the standard speedies, but $80 for custom limited is perfectly reasonable. I mean, I feel like 80 is a good number. But if it's 70, I'll have to think about it a little bit, but maybe split the difference. But yeah, so we'll do that. But I got to figure out a way to if any of you guys want them. So I'm gonna today I'll photograph it so that we can get it on a Shopify site, and then yeah, I think right now, unless you guys can think of a better way, because it's not like I have a booth at the expo or you guys can come by and like I don't have a card reader for you guys to swipe or tap a chip or something, you know. So I'm not set up to be a small business vendor like that. I don't really want to be. So I got to figure out just a way to do this. And so maybe we could do that where there's like a local, maybe there's a local pickup option on Shopify. So we could do it that way. And then I'll either meet and then maybe at some point like Saturday afternoon, I'll just randomly be standing somewhere if you've already ordered one. I'm not just going to stand there and sell them on the street, but if you order one kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Frank says, whenever my wife thinks I'm spending too much money, I threaten to take up triathlon. Gannison Gerderon says, help me break 4. Are you running on Sunday? Are you going to run in the 4-hour group? I think there's a couple of people that have mentioned that they want to run in the 4-hour group. So that's kind of where I'm leaning at right now. But if a lot of people are like 4:30, 5, 3:30, frankly, I'm not sure if I could run at 3:30 right now. Maybe, probably, but I'm not sure. I just haven't been doing long runs. That's the thing. So Scuba Sun says, making a free koozie with singlet purchase. You know, I think I got rid of a lot of the koozies. I was like, there's no way I'm going to ever move these. So I got rid of them. Martha says, I want one for sure. Yeah, I got some women's small. I think women's small was as small as I could go. I got the whole range of sizes. I think it only went up to XL for men. I don't know if I got double XLs. I have to go through, count everything. They sent me a number of how many of everything that there is, like a listing. But I still have to just double check and stuff like that. Cobalt Blue says, what is the Shopify link? I don't even know what it is anymore. So it'll be up tomorrow, guys. So I'll put a link for it in the Kofuzi Run Club because it's a Kofuzi Run Club singlet. And you guys should be able to find it there. I'll hold back a couple of the key smaller sizes for you guys here. So you guys will have to just let me know if you guys don't get one, you know. Martha says, can't Rabbit's booth at the expo do some sales for us if we reserve? Yeah, I don't know how that's all. Yeah, it seems very complicated to do it that way. So that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. I thought about bringing them to like just the meet and greet and trying to sell them there, but then it gets to the problem of like, I don't want to deal with cash. I want to do with a meet and greet. I don't want to be selling t-shirts. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So I feel like everyone that's here that wants one, I'm going to be able to find a way to get it to you, you know. I'm not as concerned about selling them to like everyone else that's there. I mean, I would love to sell them all. That'd be great. But because you know, I have to pay a lot of money for these, but so we'll figure it out. So Nathaniel says, yes, I want one for sure, and Venmo go on the Friday meetup. Like Nathaniel, what I'm trying to do is overnight I'll set up the Shopify, and then we can talk about it tomorrow on the live stream too. But I'll communicate in all the normal ways that I communicate. But like Instagram, Kofuzi Run Club's Strava group, here on YouTube. So we'll do all that. So we'll make sure that everyone figures out a way. And I'm thinking the easiest way will be like, you'll have to, if you're coming to the Friday meetup, I'll have like a box of the ones that are for people that have purchased one already, you know? Alf Dickinson goes, cash, go old school. That seems like the most complicated of all the things to me, you know? Terrence says, you know, maybe at the Rabbit CIM booth. Yeah, whatever is left by, hopefully there will be none left by CIM. But if there are, we'll see if they can carve out a little rack for me, you know, maybe to put some on there. You know, if we see if there's that many left. Hopefully there won't be any by then. Luis Becerra says, do I accept FTX digital coin? No, I never got into crypto. That was a weird idea, and I didn't like it. I just didn't think it would go away so fast. All right, Yerger says, how does your training now compare to when you ran your PR? Right now, I'm starting to ramp up and do some half marathon training. My mileage has been weird. Like last week I was in the mountains. And so not really a lot of marathon specific training. So, very different because when I was training for my PR, I was in peak marathon training shape, and I would probably do a similar training regimen, but as I get closer and then adjust it a little bit for the half marathon, but it's not going to be terribly different. The long runs will be different as I get ready for my next race, which will be a half marathon. But it'll be pretty much the same once I start training more, which will probably be like, you know, recover from Chicago Marathon, which shouldn't take me too long because I'm not going to be making a PR attempt. I'm not even tapering for it. Like I did a workout yesterday. I might do another workout tomorrow or Friday. I don't know that I really need to. Maybe I'll just take it easy and add some miles. But like I've been only running like 50 miles, 55 miles a week on average the last like since Boston, which is a lot lower than when I was racing, and I have been doing very few workouts. Calvin says, do you have to do a KQ to be able to buy the singlet? And what's the cutoff? Yeah, I don't know. Don't forget. I mean, every YouTube video starts out with, "Yo, what's going on? My name is Kafuzi, non-elite runner who reviews shoes on YouTube." So, yeah, there's no cutoffs. Everyone's welcome here. That's so funny. You guys are so funny. Dan Finn says, "Can I get it Friday from you?" Yeah, Dan. So what I'm gonna have to do is, I'm gonna try to. I think you've probably seen the answer by now, but yeah. So I'm gonna try to get some of these things set up so that way it's like prepaid for, and then I could bring that set number, so everyone that's ordered one can get one. Yeah. Oh man, this is making me very nervous, but I think we could do it. Yeah. Baldy says, is walking from the Mag Mile area to the start line too far of a walk? No, it's not that far. It depends on where you are on the Mag Mile, really, though. But like, yeah, if you were like somewhere near like the Tribune Tower or like the Nike store, that area, it's a little bit of a walk, but like, it's like an annoyingly short cab ride, and it's a weird. I guess you could take the bus a little bit, but it's going to be the fastest way of getting there. Martha wants to know, is the Hilton about a mile from the Mag Mile or more like 2? The Hilton. Again, it depends on where, but it's, yeah. I'd say a little bit, maybe. That's probably about right, you know. Warren O says, tips for beginner runners for training for their first half marathon. I would say like consistency of days is more important than any one workout. So like, working on like the total weekly mileage is more important than hitting your splits on any one day. Does that make sense? Like speed work is important, but what's really going to help you have a good day for your first one is building in consistent weekly mileage. Oh, Martha says the Hilton is 720 South Michigan, is in Italy near the Mag Mile. I might like to carb load at. Oh, that one? Yeah, so you're looking at, that's like 2 miles. Mile and a half. No, more like 2 miles. Yeah, that's like 2 miles. Yeah. That, for the night before, I would just get an Uber, which is going to be real nice. It'll be easy to get. It won't be that much. Less, and then you're off your feet. Go Running with Oliver says, auto lap on or off for the Chicago Marathon? Auto lap off. And you can lap split yourself, you know, like hit the button when you get to your mile markers or whatever. So that's what I would do. And Calvin says, and I agree, carb load now, you Chicago peeps. Get those graham crackers, bagels, pasta, and rush dishes in early. Remember, Megan Featherston interviewed Kipchoge and asked him what he ate before the Berlin Marathon, and he said oatmeal. I'm surprised he didn't say like I had ugali or something like that. But I guess it's in. But I know. I mean, I get it. He was like traveling to Berlin, but like when I was talking to Evans Cabet, he was like, I just travel with the cornmeal. It's easy. So like, okay, that must be like a thing that the Kenyans do. Fred Brodsky says, I never think of, and Fred Brodsky, that's a great Chicago name, by the way. I never think of downtown Chicago in terms of miles. Yeah, I think of it by like 800s. That's how I think of it, which is miles, but yeah. Andrew Scott says, will street closures impact the Uber ride though? Not the night before and not in some of the directions that we're talking about. I mean, you can even, yeah. If you're going to get, that's why I haven't watched my own tips video in a long time, But like in my Chicago tips video, I'm like, you're either going to get there annoyingly early or you're going to be rushed. And there's really not an in between. And so if you're planning to get there annoyingly early, there's the road closures are still aren't bad. It just might be hard to get an Uber that early because there just aren't that many drivers on the road, But yeah. Fred Brodsky says, he also thinks about an 800s or a number of L stops. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Or I think of it as like, you got like Diversey, Belmont, Addison, Irving. So you think of it in terms of the main streets. That's how I think of it. Super Njit says, Kipchoge probably eats ugali before his race, but gets sick of explaining what it is. I mean, I feel like if you're one of the people that has gotten a chance to interview Kipchoge, like I feel like at that point you're not. I mean, maybe like 17 magazines interviewing them or something. I don't know. Maybe they don't know what ugali is. That's true. Ganestan and Gerderon says, what's the best route to get to Grant Park South Garage on race morning? I forget. I don't really drive. I mean, I drive now, but when I lived in Chicago, I didn't. Last year, my running buddy drove. And I guess it depends on which direction you're coming from. But eventually, you just got to get to Michigan Avenue to get to the Grant Park South entrance. Brian Lang says, I think a Discord could help out a lot with communications and logistics like this, especially with all the events and shakeouts going on. It's just a big group chat. Brian, I think you're right. Because I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, I apologize to all the podcast listeners. This has got to be really frustrating for you to listen to today. Because it's us just brainstorming and trying to figure out something as on the fly. So yeah. Baldy says, when you lived in the city, what time did you wake up on race days, Co? I don't remember. I would plan to like leave my apartment when security opened. And it would usually take me only like 10 minutes to get downtown. So I was there like super early. But yeah, I was always like one of the first people to get there. Remy wants a Kofuzi Discord. Richard Wilson says maybe you need to delegate a Discord admin. Brian said he's good at Discord. And then Sean says, and then when Kofuzi has no live stream, we can still chat. That does sound like a nice thing. Andrew says, a Slack channel perhaps? I'm going to make an admission here. I've never used Slack before. So, all right. So there's a lot to think about. I got to do some photographing. I got to get that Shopify, I got to remember what the login is and stuff like that. And then make sure everything gets set up so we could start selling these. So that way I can start getting them to you guys because these look great. I'm super, super excited with how they turned out. And I hope you guys enjoy wearing it. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. And the thing is, I made the logo is very small, but I intentionally made the logo very small because you're going to have a bib here anyway. It's a jogging singlet. So it's intended for when you got your jogging bibs on. So that's why the logo is small, so it wouldn't get covered. So yeah, so that's the idea. Warren says where to buy. I'll let you guys know. It's going to be available on Shopify. So I'll have like a link that you could buy it. I'll put it in my Instagram. I'll put it in lots of places where you guys can get it. It's not set up yet. I literally just unboxed it now. So I'm glad that it looked good. It was okay. And that we didn't have to have any issues, production issues or whatever. So I'm excited for it. Hope you guys are excited for it too. I got to get to work. So I'm going to call it a day here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks. Bye.